Hey everybody, I want to do a thought of the day video reflection. Probably be a short one today. I'm going to peel into some new ideas. So one of the things I was doing for my thought of the day series for the last handful of videos was I was going through this little physical archive back here, right? There's just a bunch of places where I was storing a bunch of miscellaneous this and that's and things that I might want to use and share and all of that stuff. And every now and then I have to go through that. It just gets full of stuff and I have to do something with it. So I have to file it or throw it away. So I had been doing some videos based on that little physical archive there on the wall, and got through all of those items. And so then I thought, well, I should dig into my digital archives, right? For some inspiration. So we have these, I've got Instagram. And part of what I do is I like save all of the reels and the posts that I find like content super, everything from, I have my funny folder, which we probably won't dig into on these thought of the day videos. Maybe we will. Maybe I'll do some video, like a compilation of some of my funny and still appropriate things that we could post and look at. But there's some other folders. I have just a folder that I just call cool stuff. Like it might not be spiritual in nature, or theological or something like that, but just something that amazes me. Like I could title the folder just Wonder, right? I love that stuff. I know you guys do too. So I have a folder where I save all of that. We might dig into that some every now and then. I don't know. I do have a folder that's called quotes and material, like material that I'm saving, quotes that I want to be able to get back to, videos, all that kinds of stuff. So I thought I would jump into that folder every now and then and use it as an inspiration for my thoughts of the day. Now, here's the deal. I'm not like a great content creator, right? And I mean, I'm sure some of you will be like, yes, you are. Okay, thank you. But what I mean by that is like, I don't know how to like stitch videos into blah, 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 blah. I'm not a TikTok person. So I should probably be able to stitch some of these videos in, but I do obviously these YouTube videos recorded in landscape. All my reels are obviously portrait. Everybody hates it when you're dropping a portrait video into, I don't even know. So here's the deal. I'm going to make it easy. I don't know how to edit videos. Maybe someday I'll have a team of people helping me edit all I do all my YouTube cuts and edits and all that myself. I don't have any creators helping me do that, but I'm just going to make it easy. I'm just going to try to copy a link to the reel. I'm not on TikTok, so they're almost always going to be Instagram links so that you can go find it and you can watch it yourself, and see what I'm talking about. You can do that. You can like pause the video and go watch it and come back. You can watch it after. I don't know. You can do whatever you want to do. That's the beauty of the internet. But today I had one of the reels that I had in my archive was an interview, and I have no idea who this creator is. I don't know about any of their other work, so it's completely coming out of a vacuum for me. But this creator was asking a Coptic Orthodox priest, and to be honest, I don't know enough about the Coptic Orthodox Church to even give you a whole lot of background to what we're talking about. How does the Coptic Orthodox Church relate to the Greek Orthodox, the Eastern Orthodox? How does it relate to the Western Church? I mean, the Coptic Orthodox Church, if I understand everything correctly, has its origins in Egypt. So I would think that it has some relationship to Hellenism and the School of Alexandria, but I don't know. But the prompt of this interview, the question that this interview, I haven't found the whole interview. The clip is a question where the interviewer is saying, I want to talk about how you guys don't believe in theosis. And the Coptic Orthodox priest essentially says, well, I do believe in theosis, but let me tell you what I believe in. So obviously the question from the interviewer is coming from some other place, because what the Coptic Orthodox priest said about theosis is similar to what I understand about theosis. But I'm wondering if the original interviewer asked the question in terms of maybe more mystical, contemplative, theosis in terms of like a more mystical, I don't want to at all say New Age at all, but like almost like a a rising above, a transcending into a transcendent theosis, metaphysical. I don't know where the question was coming from. But the Coptic Orthodox priest reframes the question in terms of Paul talking about sanctification, which I thought was beautiful. I am familiar with theosis in terms of the Western Roman Catholic, monastic, Benedictine, even Jesuit traditions, Catholic traditions, where a lot of the monastic traditions and those monastic authors talk about theosis in terms of, they'll often talk about purgation, illumination, and unification, right? They'll talk about this contemplative work, and maybe this is what the interviewer is actually talking about. This is what I was familiar with to begin with. The idea is that part of what you're doing when you get away to these spaces, silent retreats, monasteries, part of what you're doing is you're trying to like purge your life of all of its, this is a spiritual discipline you can do in a lot of ways. You're going to purge your life of all the distractions, purge your life of all of the, obviously, the sin and the rebellion and the junk that doesn't belong there, the greed and the everything that belongs to the order of that. You're going to purge all of that. You're going to purge your physical, your spiritual, your emotional system. Purge it of all the stuff that doesn't belong. Once you get rid of all of that stuff, now the light is able to shine in, illumination. Now you're able to see things clearly. You couldn't see it because of all the junk that was in the way. Now you purge your life of all of the junk, and now you can see. And now that you can see, you become unified with who God is and what God's doing in the world. Like the character of God takes root in you. That transformation, that sanctification takes root. Like the metaphor that it was taught to me in was this idea of like picture an old shed with some windows and it's full of junk and the windows are super dirty and you can't see through them. And so you clean the shed out, you purge it, right? You get rid of all the junk, you clean the windows. So you grab your bottle of Windex, you wipe the windows down, they're perfect, they're squeaky clean. Now the light can shine into the shed, right? So now you can see. You couldn't see in the shed, it was dark and dingy and dirty. Now you can see and it's clean and it's illuminated. And now you can reorder the shed. You can fill it up with the things of God, right? If your heart is the shed, that's the work of purgation, illumination, unification, which is how I understood on some level the idea of theosis. Enjoy spending time on Wikipedia, looking up all of these things. Hooray. So he starts talking about theosis, and he doesn't talk about the methodology, but he ends up saying true sanctification and true theosis, and it's a really moving video. Like the priest is obviously very emotionally connected to this idea. He says it's washing people's feet. It's caring for the poor. It's feeding the hungry. That's theosis, because that's who God is. That's what God does. And so if we're going to talk about sanctification and theosis, we're going to talk about, and again, it's that idea of unification. Once I clean my life out, once I let the Spirit of God illuminate what I'm doing, who I am, all those things, I now start to become more like God, the character of God, the purposes of God, the rule and the reign of God, the kingdom of God become more and more of a reality in my own heart and in my own practice. And I just liked that. I thought that was really good. Anyway, I'm not going to try to plagiarize the video, so I'll try to drop a clip to the video in the description down below. But as far as thoughts of the day go, it was a beautiful, quick little thought. There's all kinds of stuff in there. You can chew on that for a week. Just the process of purgation and illumination and unification, the idea of theosis, the idea of sanctification, the idea of what it looks like when I start to take on the character of God, when God's heart starts to shape my heart, what does it tangibly look like? Plenty of stuff to think on for a thought of the day. So there you go, a little 10-minute reflection for this week. Look forward to our next conversation. We'll see when it comes out and what it is. We'll talk to you then.